All right, welcome. Today I'm going to show you 3 quick tips to improve your string striking accuracy for clawhammer banjo. I ran a poll recently and a lot of you said that was a sticking point. You found that difficult. So I'm going to show you 3 ways that'll make it much easier for you. Now, before we get too far into it, I want to mention the United States is having some pretty awful weather right now. And I hope you all are staying safe. I happen to see that Pisgah Banjos is running a GoFundMe. They were impacted by the last hurricane, and they are working on rebuilding and making sure that their employees can get paid. So I'm going to put a link to that below. If you could donate a few bucks, that would be awesome. If you donate, $10 or more, let me know, and I will happily send you the Banjo Skills tab book for free or something. If you already have it, we'll find something to help repay your generosity. All right, so we've got sort of 2 technical tips, and then I'm going to give you 1 practice exercise that is really going to help make this easy for you. The first technical tip is watch your thumb placement and your hand movement. So one of the common accuracy problems I see is that when folks go to strike an inner string, they move their whole hand. So, say I want to go from that first to the third string, they're just moving up to try to hit that third string. Their thumbs coming back up off the, edge of the banjo. And they kind of think about it more like a guitar strum. Well, look, that's going to make it much more difficult. The thing you want to change, your thumb is always going to land on that same spot, same 5th string, or drop thumb, different string, but you get the idea. Like your thumb is basically going to land at the same place every time. Your hand position, remember you're using like that pivot of your arm on the edge of the banjo, and your hand position is going to be static as well. The only thing that changes is when you go to strike an inner string, you're just going to bring your index finger or your striking finger in or out a bit to hit that string. So every time I come in, my thumb is hitting that 5th string. My hand position isn't moving. It's just my hand is closing to hit those lower strings. And if you can get that, you're like 75% of the way there already. I mean, you just kind of need that mindset shift, right? Like everyone grew up, hearing and watching guitar players on TV or whatever, and like not so much banjo players, especially clawhammer banjo players. So I think in our heads, we kind of have this image of a guitar player, and we still try to emulate that a bit when we play clawhammer banjo, which is not going to make things easy for us. All right, tip number 2 is all about muscle memory. So you need to just close your hand and open it rather than move your whole hand to strike the strings. But how do you know how far to go, how much to close or open your hand? Well, that really is just muscle memory. But there's a couple of really good ways to develop that, I think. And my favorite is to just come in and you're going to strike the first string, set your thumb on the 5th string. And now with your fingernail resting on that first string, you're just going to move it so it's now resting on the 2nd string, right? And now just come out, strike that 2nd string. And just do that a bunch of times. So come in, strike the 1st string, move it to the 2nd, come in again. You will start to develop that memory, just that intrinsic memory of where your hand needs to be in order to hit those strings. This is a really useful drill to do. I would spend a couple minutes on this here and there, and you will be amazed at how fast your brain sort of makes those connections, and you just have that natural knowledge of where that string sits in relation to your hand. And then lastly, I'm going to show you a quick drill to use if you are really trying to improve your striking string accuracy. I would say 1 minute, 2 minutes at the beginning of each banjo session. Just do this and you'll be amazed at how fast you make progress. So you're going to start out with just going 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N between the 1st and the 5th string. If you do that a few times, now you're just going to start to close your hand. You're going to go 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. I highly recommend doing this with a metronome as well. That'll really help. But, in the beginning, like just make sure that you are striking, fairly cleanly and just getting good tone everywhere and actually hitting the string you're aiming for. After you can reasonably well, the next thing you can do is start skipping strings. So now I can go 1st, 3rd, 2nd, 4th, or 4th, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Keep practicing that. And eventually you get to the point where you can just sort of move from any string to any other. You go fourth, first, like whatever. Just kind of try all the different combinations. Okay, so if you made it this far, quick bonus tip for you. One of the reasons that I really stress sort of holding the full chords when we play clawhammer banjo is because it lessens our need for accuracy just a little bit. So say I'm in a C chord and maybe I'm only trying to hit the first string, but I end up hitting that second string as well. Well, it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound like a C chord. But if I've got that full C chord fretted and I miss a little bit and I hit the second string, it still is going to work with whatever else is going on. That is actually a useful little trick, is to just make sure you're fretting the full chords, and so you basically can't hit like a super wrong note. All right, guys, I will see you next week.